Those of us from Mount Kenya, our numbers are there and we have never bragged about the numbers. Ruto ndio ametuwekea hizi namba kwa meza, sasa tunaziongelesha. Now we know we have the numbers ya kuweka na kutoa. Na huyu tunatoa asubuhi. Hata akiwa ndio chairman wa IBC, huyu tunatoa asubuhi.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the backstory. If you're new here, kindly hit the subscribe button and the notification bell down below so that you can be notified whenever we post a new video. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the report reaching us right now is that President William Ruto today paid a courtesy call to the former president Uhuru Kenyatta at his home in Gatundu. And the question that comes to our mind is, why now? You know, President Ruto has been in office for the last 2 years. The last time we saw the meeting, I can't even remember. So why is it that President William Ruto thought it wise to meet the former president at this point when there is a lot of political heat in his backyard? Now, apparently we're being told that President William Ruto and his handlers made this decision after very close confidence of former President Uhuru Kenyatta made some very serious statements at a function which they attended yesterday. I want you to listen in to some of the comments that were made by Jeremiah Kioni and the likes of Waititu. Then we'll come back and dissect.
And why am I saying that? Is because I know those of us from Mount Kenya, our numbers are there and we have never bragged about the numbers. Ruto ndio ametuwekea hizi namba kwa meza, sasa tunaziongelesha. Now we know we have the numbers ya kuweka na kutoa. Na huyu tunatoa asubuhi. Hata akiwa ndio chairman wa IBC, huyu tunatoa asubuhi. Now that is why we went looking for the people from Northeastern. We are saying more, we are going all the way to Kisii. We are going all the way to Western. We are going to all these parts of this country to bring a coalition together that is a one-touch coalition. Hatutaki mchezo na William Sabawe Ruto. One touch, aende nyumbani. Na ndio naomba viongozi wenzangu, unapoanza kusema haya mambo, usiape. Don't swear, because we want to build a big coalition. If you start swearing, you are going to throw away others. And you are working for Ruto. There are many ways of helping Ruto become a problem to us. Let us make sure that we continue talking to one another until the team is such that 70% of the country is one side. Then we can say confidently ya kwamba Ruto must go. So we need to be very careful when we are talking about forming a coalition within opposition. Mimi nimekuwako, I know it is not an easy thing. Na nawaomba tena na tena, lazima tuwe pale sisi wote, jamii zile zote ambazo zimeumwa, na ni zote. Hata ukienda kule Nyanza, wao pia wanalia. Raila ameenda huko, amechezwa. Mimi nimesema hivyo mara mingi, alichezwa na huyu jamaa mwenye alicheza Waititu, kadanganywa na kiti huko EU na hakuna, na kirudi karibu. Wewe kuja pia tumalize mambo tulianza ya kutoa Ruto aende nyumbani, sababu hiyo ni kazi mzuri. Waititu wamesema tulidanganywa zote. Mimi siko katika wote. Mimi sikudanganywa. Sikudanganywa. I want to tell you and I want to confirm to you. Na wale wanafikiria mumeona mapepo kwa huyo jamaa ya juzi, mapepo bado nyingi zinakuja. We knew him, that's why we stayed away on the advice also of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. So when we are talking about this thing, I want to agree with the other. Ni kweli na wengine wetu wako na machungu, lakini machungu hawezi katupeleka popote. Lazima tutulie, tuende pamoja.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, there are some very key issues that have been taking place in the political circle. One is the fact that there is a lot of heat and pressure on President William Ruto to form the IEBC, to constitute a panel that is going to appoint the commissioners for IEBC, because we are now like around 2 years into the next general election. And as we head closer to the next general election, President William Ruto is becoming more and more unpopular. More so in areas that he gained a lot of votes, like central Kenya, where right now, someone like Rigathi Gachagua is gaining a lot of popularity, while President William Ruto has lost a lot of credibility and popularity in central Kenya. And not only central Kenya, but in like several places across the country. So the remarks that were made by Jeremiah Kioni and the likes of Waititu, they were talking about forming a coalition that will send President William Ruto home in the next general election. And Kioni talked of having Kalonzo Musyoka, Rigathi Gachagua, the likes of Matiang'i, who was a very close confidant of the former president. And if that coalition comes to fruition, such that that coalition fronts a single candidate, then it will be game shot for President William Ruto, who will go home early. So the question that comes to mind is, why would President William Ruto contact former President Uhuru Kenyatta? Because they have not been seeing eye to eye. One point that comes to mind is the fact that President William Ruto is kind of feel threatened, and he would want to get some piece of advice from the former President Uhuru Kenyatta on how to handle one, central Kenya, because Rigathi Gachagua is becoming popular in central Kenya, and the popularity of Rigathi Gachagua might be a threat to both former President Uhuru Kenyatta and Ruto at the same time. So this meeting could be a pointer to the two looking at ways of containing, one, Rigathi Gachagua, and two, the former President Uhuru Kenyatta still has a lot of influence in central Kenya. Not only central, but in different parts of the country. He has connections, he has friends, So President William Ruto would want a situation whereby he's able to collaborate with the former President Uhuru Kenyatta by either dangling a carrot, appointing some of his close confidants to government, and then in return expecting favor from the former president. Now the question is, will the former president be able to win back a section of central Kenya into President William Ruto's political basket? So that is something that we are going to follow as the political developments go on. The second thing would be, former President Uhuru Kenyatta has a lot of connections in the African continent. So the second reason as to why they met would be that President William Ruto would want a situation whereby the former President Uhuru Kenyatta is roped into the cycle of professionals who are campaigning for the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga for the AUC position. So with his influence and connections within Africa and the former heads of states and the current head of state, you cannot rule out the former President Uhuru Kenyatta. So his influence counts so much heading into the D-Day for the AUC elections. But when it comes to local politics, whatever Jeremiah Kioni and the likes of Waititu talked about must have sent chills down the throats of President William Ruto's handlers. And he knows that if a serious coalition is formed and one candidate is fronted, then it will be game shot for him. So President Ruto must be a worried man, and is trying to look for ways of forming coalitions, bringing like people that we thought were his enemies back to his fold, so that he doesn't become a one-term president. What he's looking at is mending fences so that he gets his second term and makes it to the next, makes it past 2027, because former President Uhuru Kenyatta has very, very deep pockets. He has very, very well connected friends. So whoever he decides to support, maybe in 2027, will give President William Ruto hard time, because if you look at all the guys who are vying right now, what they don't have is the financial muscle and the political connections. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to continue monitoring what's going on in the political cycle, local political cycle, and we'll keep you guys updated. Until next time, bye-bye. But if you're new here, kindly hit that subscribe button and the notification bell down below so that whenever we post a new video, you'll be the first one to be notified.